Different's great, but being different for the sake of being different, I'm not a big fan of, right? If you just want to be different for the sake of
technology, increased, I would hide behind it.
And you start to hear some of their challenges, and yes,
because it speaks to the core of who you are and what drives you forward. Because what makes you different is what drives you. All right, welcome everybody to the Master Connector Show. I'm your co-host, Rob Genovese, and look, we're coming at you live on LinkedIn every Wednesday, 1 p.m. Eastern Time. So we're going to bookmark the calendar so you don't miss it, because when you're live with us, you can interact with us. You can ask questions of the guests. You can ask questions of everybody, because really we want to impart knowledge through the guests that we have on here. And Steve's great at booking amazing guests every week, and today is no different. Look, Steve and I go back 26 years. Our paths diverged and then came back through networking. And look, we believe here on the Master Connector Show in the power of networking, the power of community. We want you all to connect. So what we want you to do here is we don't want you to miss a single episode and the great guests that we have on the Master Connector Show. So tune in and go to the masterconnector.show website and see all the great episodes and guests that are upcoming, all kinds of topics, things that are going to help you level up so that we can speed up the process. And speed up the process is one of the concepts in today's show as we talk about how to get rapid growth. Now, look, I don't think there's a single person out there who is, whatever you're doing, you don't want rapid growth. Everybody wants everything yesterday. It's a microwave society. And if it takes longer than 30 seconds to heat up, I know I lose patience, right? So I'm excited to learn today from our guest. But listen, my co-host Steve Spear and I, we are two former shy guys, two introverts, right? We're not introverted anymore. But look, we've overcome a lot of stuff to be able to build business, build community, build connectivity, and further the things that we want to do with people. So help me welcome to the show, the Master Connector, Mr. Steve Spiro. What's up, Steve?
What's going on, Robbie G? How you doing, sir?
Good, man.
Great to be here with you. It was great golfing with you the other day. That was a fun time.
Yeah. By the way, you might know this already. I never show up in a collared shirt ever, unless it's a wedding or a funeral.
Uh-oh.
The only other time, if you see me wearing a collared shirt like this, I'm going where?
Golfing.
I'm going to play golf. So after this, I'm off to hit 9 holes, but that's the only time you ever see me like this.
Nice. I wish I was out there with you. It looks like another beautiful day here in the Northeast. So good stuff. Enjoy yourself. But what's going on, friends? Steve Spear, the Master Connector, coming at you live and direct. And I am pumped and excited to be here with you guys. And if you're tuning in for the first time, I'm going to tell you what right now, we're looking for your participation. We're not looking for LinkedIn lurkers. We're looking for LinkedIn participants. So no just observers. We want you in the comments, right? Tell us where you're tuning in from, the city, the state, the country. And it's a good opportunity for you to connect with each other, right? So if you get in the comments, by the way, if you get in the comments, we don't know if you're not in the comments, we don't know if you're tuning in or not. So like our amazing Yolanda, she's awesome. Here she is, giving a little golf symbol for Robbie G. But great to have you on, Yolanda. But get in the comments and connect with each other. It's a great opportunity. This is the Master Connector Show. So you get a chance to really share and connect with each other. And Yolanda tuning in from Houston, Texas. From Texas. I don't know if it's Houston, actually, but from Texas for sure. So anyway, but great to be on here. But listen, I want to talk about, creating rapid results requires a combination of clear vision, action, and accountability, right? I often talk about on stage where stressing the importance of holding yourself accountable for every decision and step you take. It's not enough to have goals, right? You need to track your progress and ensure you're consistently moving forward, right? I've heard of for years, winners are trackers. You got to track. You got to see what you're doing. It's not a matter of just saying, I'm going to do it, right? And also surrounding yourself with amazing people is another critical element, a strong network of supporters and challengers to push you and elevate your game, right? And in today's fast-paced world, and Rob talked about it, this microwave society, leveraging AI can give you the edge to accelerate success and help you stay ahead of the curve, right? But again, you don't want to get too AI focused, because that human touch, and we're all about connectivity, we're all about authenticity. So you don't want to lose that. But by using all these tools, you can create momentum that leads to foster and faster, more impactful outcomes, right? Remember, it's not about taking intentional, strategic steps. What is about, I should say, about taking strategic, intentional steps while embracing innovation and community, along with that authentic touch. So if you're ready for us, from my man, Rob G, to introduce our incredible guest, put it in the comments right now, hashtag let's go. And Robbie G, I'll pass to you, sir.
All right, thanks, Steve. All right, listen, Andrew Weiss is a podcaster, social media pro, and speaker who holds, get this, the Guinness Book of World Records for world's largest virtual podcasting event by bringing in over 5,000 people and 500 plus speakers over 2 weeks. As an accountability coach, Andrew helps people break through their limiting beliefs and rapidly achieve their full potential. Please welcome to the show, Mr. Andrew Weiss. What's up, Andrew?
Woo! Cue the fireworks. I feel like that's such an awesome intro. I feel like I need some fire around me. That was amazing. Thank you, guys.
We got the piano behind you. You could go ahead and start playing the piano if you want.
Yes, exactly. I do know how to play the piano, so maybe I'll be another episode. Show off those skills.
That's awesome. That's a very popular room that you're in right now. There are a lot of people visited that room,
It's funny how that works. Yes. The fireplace can't go wrong. Yeah.
Yeah. Where in the world are you tuning in from with us today?
Yes. So today, tuning in from New York City, Manhattan, Washington Heights area. For those who know much about New York City, originally from Oregon, but Broadway actresses are very convincing to get you to move across the country for them. So here I am in New York City.
Yeah, that's awesome. We appreciate it. I am scheduled to be in the city tomorrow, Friday afternoon. So maybe, I'm actually going to.
Oh, he's going to keep us. It's a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Wherever he's going to be, everybody.
Oh, no. Oh, is he coming back now? Oh.
Yeah. I'm not sure what's going on there. But anyway, we're back, hopefully. Yeah. So we want to dig into it. So community, type in hashtag accountability, or accountable, actually. Hashtag accountable. And here's the question for you, right? Andrew, how do you hold yourself accountable to consistently achieve rapid results in your personal and professional life?
Yeah, that's a great question. And it's a great epiphany that I had, is that I realized a lot of people, they want that fancy car, they want that fancy house, they want to get stronger. But as I think it was Ronnie Coleman, he said, everyone wants to get buffer and stronger, but no one wants to go in and lift weights. So how can you make sure you actually go and lift weights? And what I discovered is that, a few years ago, that I don't know about you guys, but I love serving people, but also I like to get paid money so I can go on trips and have nice meals and things like that. So I'm like, okay, I'm not actually going to be able to hold myself accountable until I put some skin in the game. And so I tested it. So I gave $100 to my dad and I said, hey, if I don't wake up by 5 a.m. tomorrow, you get to keep this $100. And believe it or not, I was able to get up on time. And so, because I'm like, man, it is really not worth losing $100 just because I don't know how to wake up at 5 a.m. And so as I've had more conversations and talked with more people, obviously people are held accountable with different motivations, whether it's money. You hear these fantasy football league consequences where you have to spend 24 hours in a Waffle House if you lose your fantasy league. And so I also hosted Marley Jackson, my own show recently, and she talked about like the importance of making your goals public, making sure you're accountable to someone. Otherwise, we live in a society and culture where you're like, oh yeah, it'd be nice to have that house, and you just kind of sit there and think and dream about it and hope that it happens without actually taking any action. And so the way to hold yourself accountable is to put skin in the game, put money on the line, declare what you want to do, and make sure people are going to force you to stay in that Waffle House if you don't go out and do it and make your goals happen, essentially.
I love that. Yeah, I love the fact that you're putting it out there, right? There's a lot of people that, use social media, but the ability to actually put out your goals and have a community to hold you accountable. I love that idea. And I've definitely done that. I have a mentor that I kind of, have a daily accountability sheet that I do and update every day, every morning, what he did. And that's kind of my way. But I like the idea of the money. Maybe I'm going to give him some money and tell him, hold it for me. I like that idea.
It works. It works.
Yeah, the accountability thing. why that's really important is, audience, I was not born accountable. I was not born somebody who achieved anything. I was pretty clueless early on. But Steve and I did share a similar mentor, and that whole idea of putting it out there, like telling people what you're going to do, used to freak me out, because I'm like, well, what if I don't achieve it? Then I look like a liar. But deep down, I knew I wouldn't do it because I couldn't. I didn't have all the skills necessary. But once you acquire enough skills and confidence, now I tell people all the time what I'm going to do, long before it's even going to come. But eventually it does come, and there's a great power in telling people what you're going to do, because if you're a person of integrity, you won't let yourself not follow through because you told somebody. That's key.
Love that. It's great.
100%. And something else I want to touch on too is like you said, sometimes setting a goal can be overwhelming. Like, oh my gosh, how the heck am I going to come up with this money? How the heck am I going to pull off getting a new car? And so part of being accountable is understanding that you can break things down into simple daily steps that force you to be successful. The classic example I like to use is that a lot of people say, I want to write a book. And then they realize, oh, geez, the average book length is about 300 pages. I don't have time. I don't have the capacity to know how to write 300 pages. But if you're like, okay, you know what? I could set aside 30 minutes, maybe 45 to an hour each day and just write 10 pages a day. If you just focus on writing 10 pages a day, like that's it, like go watch TV, go hang out with your friends, go do whatever. If you just do 10 pages a day, congratulations, you have a completed book in 1 month. And so really it's important to break down your habits and steps towards your goals as well.
Yeah, absolutely. How do you eat an elephant one bite at a time, right?
Yes, exactly.
Inch by inch, everything's a cinch, yard by yard, it's hard, right? And other cliches like, the journey of 1,000 steps becomes, with one. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step, I believe is what it is. But yeah, so we were touching on being accountable and the ability of kind of having people in your life to kind of be accountable to. You mentioned your dad, you mentioned social media. So community, type in #people. What role do the people you surround yourself with play in accelerating your success beyond what you just described? Because I'm assuming there's a lot more to that as well.
Yeah. So going back to, obviously you want to pick someone that will be able to hold you accountable and actually do it. So you can't just pick like someone who that they will give you a free pass per se, someone who will actually hold your feet to the fire. But there's a great quote by Jim Rohn who says that you're the average of the 5 people who you spend the most time with. And so just really recognizing who are those people who are inspiring you, who help pushing you, who also help you feel good about yourself, but who can also give you constructive feedback, but also give you encouragement, and really taking notice of who you're spending time with. And if you're going, you know what, I don't know where to find these amazing people, I don't know how to get in touch with them. Well, obviously you have Steve here, who's a master connector who can probably help you connect with the right people, but there's also plenty of books you can read to feel like you have a Steve Jobs talking in your ear. There's YouTube videos you can listen to get the right insights on things. There's so many in-person online communities out there, and just really taking note of who you're spending time with and how it's going to help you reach your goals is so essential.
That's awesome. And that, so it's all about obviously upping your game and elevating your game. So community, type in #elevate. But I want to dig on this question a little bit because, you mentioned I'm the master connector, but I want your perspective, right, on how do you identify and attract amazing individuals who can elevate your game for you, right? Let's kind of take that a step further now.
Totally. Yeah, I love that. So there's a great book I love called The Magic of Thinking Big by David Schwartz. And yes, and one of my top takeaways from that book is that no one is better than you and no one is lesser than you. And so if you want to be spending time around amazing, incredible people who are crushing at what they do, but if you also treat them like a fanboy or fangirl, then you're probably not going to have as good of connection or relationship as you'd like to have. And so this first step is to really identify the kind of people that you want to spend time with. And so usually it's people who are 1 step or 10 steps ahead of you because they've been down the road that you're on already. They know what to expect. They know how to help serve you. And really it's reaching out. That great advice from Gary Vaynerchuk is that if you never ask, the answer is always no. If you never ask, the answer is always no. And right. My first epiphany of this happened in college too, where at the time when I was working on figuring out what I want to do with my life and figure out, it would be great to be a public speaker. I'm like, you know what, go big or go home. And so I Googled highest paid public speakers in the world. And this guy came up named Chris Widener. And so I just wrote to him on LinkedIn. I'm saying, hey, I'm a student in college, love learning how to become a great public speaker and get paid as much as you do one day. I mean, the fact you get paid $30,000 for a talk and collect your check and peace out, that sounds pretty cool. Can we connect and learn more about what you do? And he's like, yeah, let's talk next week. I'm like, what? People are actually responding and listening and willing to help me out. I'm just a lowly college student. So, and I've learned that in my adult life too, my professional career too, that it's okay to ask to connect with people and build a relationship. And of course, I'm sure Steve and Rob and I are biased. That helps to have a podcast and a live stream show to help that way as well. So there's lots of ways to go about it, but I think it goes back to like knowing who you want to spend time with and understanding that it's okay to ask to connect with people.
And I found out too, Andrew, to that great point, is I used to think that in order to succeed, you had to be like this alpha person, uber confident, who just plows over everybody to get to the finish line. And what I actually found out was that, number one, you can't do anything really big without people, without other people, right?
Yeah.
You can become somewhat successful by yourself, but there's a limitation to what you can do due to your own constraints of just being one person. But I also found out that people want to help if you are legitimately looking to accomplish something that sounds worthy. I mean, I've had people go, wow, that sounds great. How can I help? And I'm like, really? Like, you want to help me? Like, that sounds awesome. Because people want to be a part of something, or I should say somebody that's going somewhere. So, I've heard that, as far as what a definition of a leader is, somebody who's followable. If you're going somewhere, a leader needs followers and followers need a leader. So when you say, I'm going to do this, to the accountability point earlier, I'm going to do this, people go, hey, how can I help? It's amazing.
Yeah, on the leadership point, I heard it said like this: if you think you're a leader and you're out going on a walk and there's no one behind you, you just going out for a walk,
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean that's a great point. Now I want to just talk about great points. We're talking about accountable partners, and I want to just acknowledge Yolanda's point. Starve your distraction with an accountable partner. I love that, Yolanda. Great point there. And the other thing you said earlier is, if you don't ask, you don't. I like to say, if you don't ask, you don't get. Right?
Yeah.
That's another way of saying it. Right? And just having the courage and the guts to be even to ask is just enough that will impress somebody. Wow, this guy had the courage. This person had the courage to ask, right? And also, I think another point is making sure you're give focused. You're not looking to get, but maybe you can add value by, hey, what can I do to serve you? And no agenda for that. And then, of course, what you give, you eventually get back, right? I think that's a big point. But I want to shift focus a little bit here with. I know you call yourself the AI expert here. That's one of many things you do. It's not only what you do, but so community, type in #AI, and I'd love for you to share some examples of how AI has helped you to get ahead and create rapid results. And now let's dig into the meat and potatoes of this topic.
Yeah, 100%. So a couple tools that I'm obsessed with. One of them is perplexity.ai. And what they do is they take the chat GPT side of things, but they actually cite your sources. I think they have more of a free model, because if you're like me, entrepreneur, startup life, and you guys save money every chance you get. And the fact that they cite your sources, they have a free model, they can still track everything. I love using Perplexity for content generation ideas, for figuring out how to check my grammar on things. And then also as a podcast host, I love using the tool castmagic.io because it's a lot of work to come up with your show notes of figuring out the description and the quotes and the links and everything like that. Castmagic.io basically takes care of everything for you. And I was fortunate enough to get it early on through this AppSumo link. And so I think it's a monthly subscription now, but definitely highly recommend it. And so, yeah, AI is definitely a great tool. And the quote I love is that AI isn't going to take over the world. The people who know how to use AI are going to take over the world. And so I know it can seem intimidating and scary to people, just like computers were when they just came out. And just like, I'm sure people are like, how the heck do I use my iPhone right now? But I really encourage people to look into AI more often. And of course, if you have more questions, happy to help talk about them and answer them for you. But I love using AI for sure.
It's great. Yeah.
I got to tell you this. When you just said that, Andrew, it made me laugh and think about the truth behind that statement about, AI is not taking over the world. The people who understand it and use it are. And it made me think of, look, I'm not in my 20s anymore, right? But I remember a time when people would say, I don't do that email thing because it was kind of new. I know this is really dating me. And the fact was, nobody's really expecting you to not use a tool for business or for work or for your job. And so fast forward to now, when people go, I don't do AI, it makes me think about the people who said, I don't do email, and they became obsolete, irrelevant, because, AI, like you said, it's a tool. People, it's just a tool. Stop worrying about your job, right? It's a tool that when you learn to use it, and by the way, the perplexity, you're the third person in 1 week who's brought that up to me, and I hadn't used that. So now I got to make a note to check that one out.
Got it. Mm-hmm.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah. I think about the horse and buggy versus the car, right? And, listen, obviously, whoever was heavily into the horses, whatever the shoes that go on the bottom of the horses, horseshoes, I guess, right? And all that, that might have gone a little bit lighter or almost gone away. However, automobile manufacturing became a big industry, right? So when one thing starts, and other things go away, but it just creates a new industry. And I think it's a great tool. And if you're not using it, I think you're missing out, because there's some great things you could do. It's not the end all be all, but it's great. So, well, I know social media is incredibly valuable tool for all of us. And we were talking about emailing and things. So community, type in hashtag social media, and we want to pick your brains on this. Andrew, can you share some good ways to grow your social media?
Yes. So I've been helping a few clients grow their social media because I personally love social media. It's helped me bring on clients. It actually helped me find my wife. And so I'm definitely a big fan of it. And if you're not properly using it, then what are you doing? Like, why not? So a couple of clients I'm currently working with, Podfest is one of them. PJ Dunuzzo, he's a mindset coach, manifestation coach. Definitely check him out. And what I've discovered recently is that one of the best ways to help grow your social media is post as many videos as you can to kind of find that formula that's getting as much engagement and people who are liking and following the post. And then once you kind of figure out like a trend or a pattern for what the kind of post that people are liking, I highly recommend putting in paid ads to help grow the account from there. So with PJ, for example, we posted about 10 to 15 videos, kind of figure out what people are liked. And then all of a sudden, a couple of those videos just blew up. Like while he only started with 50 subscribers and we had about 500 views per video, one video went up to like 3,000 views and 4,000 views. And we're like, okay, maybe there's something here. And so just putting $100, $150 into boosting that viral video per se, we were able to get over 1,000 subscribers in the last 2 weeks. And so that's one of the top ways that people need to look into growing their social media more often, is making sure you're posting consistently, figuring out what works. And then I highly recommend spending some money on boosting your account as well.
I got a hidden gem in there, Steve. Sorry to jump in, but the hidden gem in there that is timeless. And just a quick second, consistency.
Yeah.
But in everything, right? Social media, in video, in direct, in no matter what it is, right? Consistency in everything.
Yeah, for sure. And the other thing that I want to throw in there is a couple things. Number one, I've been seeing a lot more LinkedIn videos. There's a whole video section now that and I'm seeing a lot of great content showing up. So I got to up my game there. But the other part, and maybe you could help with this, Andrew, I don't know if maybe it's rhetorical, but I do post every day, as most of you guys know, and sometimes I get a lot more views on one versus the other, and I can't honestly figure out what exactly it is, to be honest with you. So, that's the one thing I'm struggling with. I don't know if you can shed any light on that piece of it.
Yeah, so success usually leaves clues. And I would challenge you on with your posts, like, are you putting a theme for the week? Are you putting a theme for the day? Like, do you get, for the ones who are sporadic in engagement, like, are you talking more about networking? Are you talking about more stories? Are you talking about how you specifically help your clients? And so I'm sure there is some kind of theme, some kind of formula that is definitely a pattern that you might be missing out on. And if you are really worried, I would also encourage you to maybe put $5 or $10 a day on like 3 different videos that you think will perform the best, and just kind of do ABC testing essentially. So I would say, yeah, keep testing on different patterns and themes. Like, do you need to add more humor? Do you need to add less humor? Is it the certain niche guest that you bring on versus a quote unquote big name kind of thing? There's definitely clues in success, or success in clues, one of those. And so I definitely challenge you on helping to look for the patterns, creating patterns, and then still putting some money into boosted opportunities as well.
I'll take you up on that challenge. And speaking of challenge, community, type in #challenges, because we want to throw a question here to you, Andrew. Right? What are the biggest challenges people face in holding themselves accountable? We're kind of going back to that again, and how they can overcome them. So I guess that was a little out of sequence, but whatever. It's a question we can get to anyway.
Yeah, no worries. So I'd say having clarity on what your goal is in the first place. And so we'll use this book example, or we'll use a social media example. So let's say your challenge is you want to grow your social media channel because you want to get more clients. Maybe you want to meet your spouse. I don't know. And then to help complete the challenge, figure out, okay, how can I spend 10 to 15 minutes daily posting, not just posting on social media, but interacting with other accounts, commenting on other accounts, following the right accounts, to help get me ahead of the game. Because as Rob says, consistency is king or queen, however you want to say it. And so the challenge is put a clear goal for yourself, decide how you're going to make consistent progress towards that goal for 30 days straight. Find someone who can hold you accountable in a way that makes sense for both of you. And then step 4 is do it. Easy.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, Rob, I'll pass it to you. I know you want to talk about something here.
Yeah. So great points here, everybody. And look, the show goes really fast. So we appreciate everybody tuning in here. We try to pack it all into a digestible half hour, but we always want to add value, not just by the guest, but by the conversation and things come out of it. And you and the audience add value too. We love hearing your questions, your comments. But Andrew has got a more value for you today. He's got an offer. Andrew, you want to tell us what the audience has in store for them?
Yeah, so I created a presentation on how people can actually get access to one of my recent presentations on using AI tools and how to make their life easy with AI tools. So if you go to subscribepage.com/driven, I'll type it in the private chat here so you can repost it.
It's in the comments already, Andrew.
Oh, you already have it. Great, excellent. So that way you can get a head start on getting some AI tools to help make your life easier. And if you want to talk more about growing your social media and reaching your goals, then I'm happy to connect more.
Awesome. Appreciate that. And we just appreciate having you on here. What's the best way for everyone to reach you? And also, if you have any closing comments, because we're going to actually close the show out shortly.
Yeah, no problem. You can reach me. I'm on social media, all the big 4 ones: Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter. You can find me at the Andrew J. Weiss, the Andrew J. Weiss. And you can also email me, andrew@weisswisdom.com, and I'm happy to connect and talk with you more.
Well, we really appreciate you. We're going to put you in the green room, but you really brought a lot of great value to our community. So we appreciate that big time. Thank you again. So thanks. We'll see you in the green room soon. But Robbie G, I'll pass to you, sir.
All right. Good stuff. So listen, always adding value. Andrew is just tremendous. And, this is all about overcoming. This is about life experience. It's about business experience. It's about experience overall. And not just a theory on how to win and overcome, but how to actually learn from people who have done it. So, I just want to plug Steve's book. Steve put out a book. He basically put in a lot of the things he's learned along the way. So you want to pick up the Tao of a Master Connector, the way an introvert, because people think introverts can't win. They can. The way an introvert became a master connector, a lot of Steve's story and his wisdom in there. A man who has literally mastered the martial arts in 2 different disciplines, conquering business and networking and everything he puts his hand to. So pick up that book. Highly recommend it. Back to you, Steve.
I appreciate that, sir. Well, I want to say thank you to the community. We appreciate you, Yolanda. I know you're amazing, and everyone else that comes on to the show. Next week's show, episode 180, unbelievable. It's going to be same bad time, same bad channel, Wednesday, September 18th, The Power of Optimism. And by the way, I should have acknowledged this in the opening of the show. Today is, I know I did a post earlier this morning. It's 9/11. Just appreciate all the men and women that served, that sacrificed, that people, we just you're in our thoughts. Those who had lost people during that tragic day. But anyway, next week, the 18th, we'll be back on the power of optimism, because you know what? Even though it was a tragic day today, on 9/11, the optimism was the world came together and we became one to kind of, conquer what we needed to conquer, if you will. I don't want to get too political. Obviously, we had that last night, so we don't need more of that today. But hey, it's all about moving forward, and I believe this country showed its best shows its best through adversity. So the power of optimism with Neil Wood is going to be incredible. So don't miss it. And if you're interested in being a host or a sponsor of the episodes, go to masterconnector.show, and Rob G put some great time and effort in a section on what it would mean if you were to sponsor an episode, and also future shows. You could see what we've got booked out. I think we've got guests booked out all the way to the end of June of 2025. It's crazy. But I want to talk about closing down with a story. And in 2020, Tristan Walker, the founder of Walker and Company, set out to make a major impact by rapidly growing his brand of grooming products for people of color. He held himself accountable. By tracking his team's progress and staying laser focused on his mission, by partnering with innovative leaders and leveraging technology, including AI, in product development and marketing. He scaled the company quickly, eventually leading to its acquisition by P&G, Procter & Gamble. Right? His journey is a powerful example of how determination, collaboration, and smart use of technology can lead to extraordinarily rapid growth. So remember, folks, have the determination, and having the determination will lead to results, and your story can inspire many others. Let's always be that light. We'll see you next week.
And you start to hear some of their challenges, and yes,
because it speaks to the core of who you are and what drives you forward. Because what makes you different is what drives you.